Hello and welcome to another live episode of the Leveraging AI podcast, the podcast that shares practical, ethical ways to improve efficiency, grow your business, and advance your career. This is Isar Metis, your host, and we have an amazing session for you today. We've been talking a lot about agents, both in previous episodes as well as on the news. Like agents are now, everybody's interested in agents. Everybody wants to build agents. Everybody wants to know what agents can do for them. And the reality is, most people don't have a clue how to do that, how to get started, which platforms to use, and so on. And this is exactly what we're going to tackle today. And we're going to demystify the whole concept of creating agents. We're going to show you exactly how to build an agent that you can actually use that will be very useful for probably most companies in the world today, big or small. So what are we going to build? We're going to build an agent that will learn everything about your company just by looking at your website, and will be able to answer questions on that website to, well, wherever you want to place it. For a demo today, we're going to place that on Instagram. So we're going to build an agent that will be able to answer DMs on Instagram based on information from the website. You obviously can build it and connect it to any other thing, like place it on your own website and so on. And the cool thing is you'll see that the agentic universe, that while this sounds complicated, it's actually really easy. And we'll do all of that within the next 30 to 40 minutes, which is incredible. When you, again, most people think that it's really hard and really complicated and you got to have an army of coders to do this. The reality is it's not. And we're going to do this with the help of Carolina Posma, who is our guest today. She is an expert on doing this. She has her own agency helping companies do exactly that. She is a advisor, like an external promoter of Flowgenz, which is one of the most commonly used platforms today to develop agents. And this is the platform we're going to use today to show that to you. Her background is in marketing and in entrepreneurship. She's been in multiple marketing roles across multiple companies, including several of her own. So she understands business, she understands entrepreneurship, and she understands agents, which makes her the perfect guest to share with us her information about this. So I'm really excited about this one. Carolina, welcome to Leveraging AI.
Thank you so much, Isar, and thank you for this very kind introduction. So what I want to show to you today is indeed how you can build an easy and Instagram AI DM appointment setter. So you already mentioned it in your description, Isar, an AI agent that does sales for you on autopilot, right? So that's what we're going to explore today. So indeed, quickly about me. So yes?
No, I'm saying that's amazing. I think it's very exciting. I just want to, first of all, thank everybody in the audience, the people who are joining us live, whether on LinkedIn and or on Zoom. So thank you so much for being here. If you have, first of all, go ahead and introduce yourself, so where you are, what your experience with agents, so we have a little idea of who's in the audience. And if you're not in the audience, then know that we do this every single Thursday at noon p.m. Eastern. You can come and join us, and then you can ask questions, you can chat with the people in the chat, you can network, and so on. Also, I want to mention one last thing. If you want to learn more in depth on how to leverage AI in your business, there are two ways we can help you with that. One is we have the AI Business Transformation course, which we have been teaching for over 2 years. The next session opens on the second week of August. It's a 4-week course, 2 hours a week, that will give you an incredible level of understanding in AI and how to apply it in your business, whether you're just a business person or you're in leadership position in a company. In both cases, it will give you incredible boost to your understanding of AI. The other thing is we work with companies on custom tailored workshops to help businesses accelerate very quickly into the AI era. We do this either in person or online, depending on the setup of the company. So if you're interested in any of those, just look for the links in the show notes or just connect with me on LinkedIn and ask me whatever you want to ask me. And now let's dive into agents and let Carolina lead the conversation. Carolina, it's your stage from now.
Yes, thank you so much. So let's talk a little bit first about the difference between ChatGPT, AI automations, and AI agents. If you are a frequent listener, you might already know the difference, but I always like to go back to basics to just get everyone on the same page. So I will share a couple of slides first where we will discuss this. So let's get started first a little bit on the difference between ChatGPT, AI automations, and AI agents, because today we're going to talk about AI agents and we're going to create our own AI agent as well. But as I said before, it's always very useful to get a little bit back to basics on what are we actually talking about. So first, where do we stand now in the world of AI? Many people have already probably seen this leaked note from the Shopify CEO telling us that, telling all his employees that before asking for more headcount and resources, teams must demonstrate why they cannot get what they want done using AI. So this already emphasizes the importance that huge companies lay on understanding AI and using AI and knowing how to get things done using autonomous AI agents, as it's mentioned over here. Then we have companies such as Gumroad that are only with 4 persons and that are raising $17 million in dollars. So they're building, as they claim, the first 10 person, 1 billion company. And we have companies looking for AI first talent only, and you have to automate your job as you go. And even further, there are companies like Firecrawl who are currently hiring AI agents. So they're not even looking for people to build AI agents. No, they have job vacancies for AI agents open. And the great news here is that we are still in the very much beginning, and the people who adopt this technology right now will win, just like in the previous tense, like internet, smartphone. Those are very disruptive, just like AI agents are. And when we're talking about AI agents, the first thing that you need to grasp a little bit is ChatGPT. Well, I am assuming that everyone right here has played around with ChatGPT already, has had a conversation already with ChatGPT, but a lot of people are calling ChatGPT an AI assistant. And this is where I want to get started, because in my opinion, ChatGPT is just an AI advisor. Because ChatGPT is brilliant to get advice, to brainstorm ideas, to create content, and to help you when you're stuck in anything. ChatGPT is your personal advisor that you can ask anything. But one of the problems of ChatGPT is it can't really do anything. Yes, if you're very advanced with ChatGPT, you may be aware of custom GPTs, but in general, ChatGPT doesn't do anything. Then we get on to automations. And automations was already possible for a very long time. Let's take this super straightforward automation example where you're connecting two different tools. Let's say you have a lead form on your website, and people can leave their information over there, first name, last name, and you want to have that added to, for example, your CRM, such as HubSpot, Pipedrive, or any other CRM. You can do that using tools like Zapier, Make, N8N, tools that were there for years already. So putting this information from one side to the other side was already possible for years. But why is there all the hype suddenly about AI automations, or AI automations, let's say? So process automations, as we know, that completely changed with the introduction of better, cost-friendly, and accessible AI. In 2022, the API of GPT 3.5 became available, and suddenly AI wasn't anymore just for the big corporates with huge budgets. No, it was for all of us, for you, me, everyone who is open to play around with AI, even as an individual. And what we were seeing was that AI was getting so much more smarter, and at the same time, so much more cheaper. So it became more available. And what does AI now allows us to do in these process automations? Well, it allows us to interpret information, to summarize information, to turn unstructured information into structured data. So what do I mean by that? Let's say, for example, that you have someone sending in a resume or a CV. It can be sent in a PDF, and that's a huge bulk of unstructured information. The name can be anywhere on the PDF, right? But with AI, it can read that information, and it can take out, for example, oh, this is the first name, this is the last name. It can turn unstructured information into structured data, and that's so powerful. It can create new content. So there's so much that you can do with AI right now. And when we take a look at our example, and please interrupt me if you have any questions, but if we are looking at this example from the lead form to name, email, website to your HubSpot pipeline, suddenly you could start doing stuff with that information. So with the introduction of AI, you can summarize the website, for example. You can give some qualification criteria to AI and have it judge if this is a qualified lead. Or perhaps you have a sales team that pick up the phone for everyone who is filling in that lead form. And the AI can help you create a call script for that salesperson, right? So there's so much that you can do with AI. You can interpret information, turn unstructured information into structured data. It's changed the world. So right now we discussed ChatGPT, which is your personal advisor, to ask questions, get help. Then we have automations, and the old school automations help you to stop copy pasting info and doing the same boring tasks. It helps you to connect different softwares and tools with each other. And then since a couple of years, we have AI automations, and that's making your automation smarter with AI, summarizing it, interpreting it. But something new in the last couple of months, year, happened, and that is AI agents. And this is even a step further. So let's move on to the AI agents. You can think of AI agents as ChatGPT, but it doesn't just chat, it takes action. So you can train an AI agent, for example, on your company's knowledge, and you can plug it into different tools. It can book meetings, it can update CRM records, it can send messages, it gets real work done. And before we dive into AI agents and how to build it if you don't have any tech knowledge at all, because like Isa said, you don't need to be able to code. No, you can really, there are softwares that allow you to just plug and play with AI agents. There's something that you first need to know where we stand with AI agents right now. And what I'm showing you on the screen right now is the triangle of talents. And in this triangle of talent, you see a triangle. It looks a little bit like the social hierarchy of different levels that employees can have. And level 1 is the lowest level, that's useless. And that's someone, if you tell them what to do, they rarely do it right. If we go one level up, we're talking about task monkeys. For those employees, persons, you tell them what to do and how to do it and when to do it, and it will get done. Then we have a third level of talent, which is problem solver. Tell them what to do, and they figure out the how. The fourth level of talent is systems thinker. Tell them, and I do see that the credits actually are missing. This is shared by Shaan Puri on Twitter. The fourth level is systems thinker. Tell them the problem, they set a system to figure it out, people plus process. And level 5 is a superstar. They identify the right problem and get it solved. So where are AI
I want to pause you. I want to pause you just for 1 second to add 2 things. One, to do a quick summary of the great intro you did of the differences between AI and agents and automations. And I think most people are still struggling with that. So I think that was great. The biggest differences between agents and just AI large language models is, like I said, they can take action. The second thing is they can figure out their own steps. Like if you want to do a multi-step process with AI large language model, you got to tell it what the steps that it needs to do, even though the reasoning models solved it partially, but only partially. And the agents know kind of how to think for themselves. You give them the goal, they figure out the steps versus you have to take them the steps. And number 3 is they know how to work collaboratively with other agents. You can build a hierarchy of agents that can talk to one another. When it's LLM, it's just that one LLM. So this is kind of like a quick summary and my 2 cents to add to that. On what you just said about the talent, there was a very interesting interview with Sam Altman this past week at the keynote of Snowflake, the big data company. And when he was asked about what he's excited about that's probably coming in the next year, so the next 12 months, he basically thinks that the biggest thing is that AI will be able to solve really big, really complex business problems that we are either unable to, or it takes us a huge amount of effort to solve just by giving them more compute. So he's basically saying what you're talking about right now, that we're going to go from level 2 to level 4, maybe 5, by just giving it access to the right data and just paying for a lot more tokens, but then it will know what to do. And if you can solve a really big problem for a really big company, that might be worth tens of millions, hundreds of millions, billions, depending on how big the company is. So saying, okay, I'm going to throw $2 million worth of compute at this makes perfect sense in those scenarios. And so just to give you a broader idea where we are, where we're going, this is kind of where we are. Now I'll let you continue on where we are right now.
Yeah, that's amazing. I don't know. It's sometimes so. It's honestly also a little bit scary, because if an AI agent already can go to level 4, the systems think, or level 5, a superstar. Wow, I think that's brilliant when we get there. But also, I'm so curious on how the world will look like by then, on what will change, because so much is going to change. But at the moment, I think right now, AI agents are still, most of them are still task monkeys. I do know that some companies are playing around with problem solvers already, but the most AI agents that you, for example, would create in softwares that you see often around, like, for example, N8N, are still task monkeys. You need to tell them what to do, how to do it, and when to do it. And then your AI agent will get it done every single time if you instruct it correct. So with that in mind, in my experience, there are 2 big use cases for AI agents right now. AI agents can really well connect with your leads or customers via, you often hear voice, via calling, via messages, for example, on Instagram, like we're discussing today, but also in website chats or on WhatsApp, for example. So AI agents are great right now to really get the conversation going with customers and leads, like a sales employee or like a customer support employee. That's one use case. And the other use case is a personal company assistant doing different stuff in the background, more like an automation plus, for example, doing some research for you every time a lead is coming in, or let's say creating content for you, doing research on that. So that is another big use case. If you are not technical at all, or at least you consider yourself to be a non-technical person, there are 3 software tools that I can recommend you to get started with AI agents. And these software tools are for your personal company assistant are Zapier. I think they have a really good, super user and beginner-friendly personal company assistant AI agent builder. A Relay app, I think I really like them in the sense that they have a lot of pre-built AI agents already for you, so you can just plug and play also for the personal company assistants. And if you are looking for an AI agent builder that allows you to create AI agents that can connect with your leads on Instagram, WhatsApp, on your website, then I highly recommend Flowgenz.ai, where I'm also involved as an advisor. So let's take a look at some examples that we can create using an AI agent that can connect with your leads or customers. So like I mentioned, the lead generation on your website, Instagram DM AI agent, but also, for example, customer support for e-commerce stores. Connect your AI agent with your Shopify and have it search for products and have it update order status or request order status when people are asking for it. Or, for example, an AI coach trained on your course, if you're a consultant or if you're running a course. Imagine that people can chat with your AI coach version on WhatsApp or in Slack, for example, and you giving your students or clients 24/7 advice. Or let's say, for example, customer support or sales on WhatsApp for events. If you're running a huge conference, maybe you can start reaching out to everyone on WhatsApp with the newest updates. And if people have questions about where do I park or who are the keynote speakers or anything like that, an AI agent can answer that easily right now. So just to recap what I showed you here and what I discussed here, we went from ChatGPT, which is a personal advisor, to automations, to AI automations, and we discussed two different types of AI agents, the sales or customer support employee or the personal assistant. Any questions so far?
No, I think this is fantastic. I don't see any questions in the audience, people saying that it's interesting and that it's awesome. So I guess you're on the right track.
Brilliant. That's good to hear. I see that Neda has the second brain assistant built on make.com. That's amazing. Okay, let's move on then to actually creating our AI agent. I am going to hide. Let me see if I can hide this. Hide video floating. Yes, because then I can actually see what I'm doing. So if you want to walk through this together with me, you are welcome to do it because, well, I'm going to build this live. I'm always nervous for the live demo, so I hope everything goes well, but I will show you how to do it. So what we're going to build is an Instagram AI agent that can answer any questions on your Instagram DM. So let's say that you have a lot of followers on Instagram as a company, or you're an influencer, then this is a brilliant use case to try and add an AI agent to it. So where we're going to build this is Flowgenz.ai. This is like flow and agent combined, but then without the A in the middle, Flowgenz. And on the Flowgenz website, you can click on Get Started for free. And then you can add your email address or click on Continue with Google. And then you will get on a page that is the onboarding form. Like every software, there's an onboarding form. And there you can tell, what should we call you? Well, Carolina. We're going to build an AI agent for Multiply today. Then company size, I will just keep these on 1 to 10. And we will continue. So next, where did you find us? Referral. What's the use case? Instagram AI agent, but you can put in any use cases. Will of course help the team of Flowgenz to build their software better for you. So, and this is where the magic is going to happen, because what's going to happen right now is if you fill in your website over here, and we're going to do that with Isar's website. If you fill in your website over here, in the background, an AI or the website will be scraped, and an AI agent will be trained, so to say. So it will be added as knowledge, and a prompt will be generated on your website. So you don't need to have any tech skills with it. You can just fill in your website, and automatically it will be trained. So we're building your agent now, and in the same time, you are going to be guided through the app. So I will just quickly go through that. So the credits, dashboards. If you are doing this on your own, you can easily read it. But they have a chat manager. You can have different agents. You can connect with different integrations and settings. Now click on agents and click on agents overview. Then you can open it to see your first agent. But the agent is at the moment still being built. This is your agent's playground. So once the agent is ready, we can play around with the agent and we can chat with it. In the meantime, let's take a look. You can add it to your website. Click here to edit your agent, and we will take a look at how to edit your agent. So what we will see in a couple of minutes is the agent, the system prompt being filled in. So for every agent, the system prompt are the instructions that you can explain to the agent on how to behave. So you can really think of it as the introduction or the onboarding guide for any of your employees. In your onboarding guide, you also tell how someone should behave, or what someone should do, or what's expected in what cases. And that's the same for the system prompt. So remember that the system prompt is really the heart and the brains as well of your AI agent, because you're telling it its personality, you're telling it the way it should behave, which actions it should take. and all in plain English. So this is really the same as chatting with ChatGPT, but then you're explaining it to your AI agent on how to behave. The next part of every AI agent is that an AI agent should
before you continue, just to talk about the system prompt. So, and I think you framed it perfectly, right? It's the onboarding and the training of a new employee, right? But it covers more than that, just like you said, because it also covers personality. It also covers how you're going to answer. Do you want to be brief? Do you want to be detailed? If you are detailed, how detailed do you want to be? What's the format of your answers? Like every one of those things you can customize and define for the agent exactly how to behave, and different than the average employee. It's actually going to follow these instructions exactly how you tell them. So my question to you though, Carolina, is does Flowgenz, or do you have a different resource of all the different topics that should be in a system prompt? Like what, in order to make sure you're not missing anything important, do they guide you through these different things, or do you look for that on YouTube and start there?
You will see it in a couple of minutes.
Okay.
But Flowgenz right now, because I filled in the website, Flowgenz has the system prompt created automatically with AI. So they have a team of AI agents in the background that go to your website and create a system prompt automatically. So the rough draft of the system prompt is already there, which makes it more easy to get started with. From there on, you can make any changes. Things that I would include, and always, and this is something that that I'm going to share now as well, is always define the role of the AI agent. So who is he or she or it, or I don't know how to define it, but who are they? So is it a personal assistant? Is it a sales employee? Is it an appointment setter? Is it a customer support employee? This already sets the stage first for your AI agent on how it should behave in the rest of the conversation. So the role. Then always define, indeed, you mentioned it already as well, the goal. So what's the goal of the AI agent? For a lead generation AI agent, you want it maybe to collect email addresses. Or for a customer support AI agent, the goal is to help the customer as best as possible to solve its problems. Then I always recommend to include the standard operating procedure, but you can name it in different ways. You can name it, for example, you can say it's the task, or indeed the standard operating procedure, or the workflow, or anything like that. But there you define usually on what steps it should take, if you want it to take certain steps. So for example, for a lead generation AI agent, sometimes you don't want it to have certain steps and you just want to go with the flow and really follow the conversation. But sometimes you want the AI agent to first ask a couple of questions that are, for example, qualifying, and then go with the flow. And that's all stuff that you can also define as well. Tone of voice, examples. So this is a little hack that I always use, but I love to add examples to the system prompt, because it makes it very clear for the AI agent how to behave. But what I usually do for that is screenshot a couple of old conversations that are already done by a human, and then put that in ChatGPT, ask ChatGPT to transcribe those screenshots, and then put it in the agent user set or user structure. And then you already have some conversations that you can add as an example as well to the AI agent. And what AI, of course, does is the whole goal of an LLM or AI is to predict your dream outcome based on the information that you are providing. And that's also why you will notice that AI is always very much a pleaser, because it's trying to predict your dream outcome. So the more information you can give it, the better it can predict your dream outcome, because the more context it has, the better you can predict the dream outcome. And the last element that I would always include are rules. And rules are basically, maybe you will recognize this as well, these are creating AI agents. You will notice that it does some stuff that you don't want it to do. So that I just put on rules or notes or something like that. Never do this, always do that, never do that. And just when I'm playing around with it, when I'm testing it, then the rules are just a bunch of random stuff usually that I add when I notice that it's doing certain behaviors that I don't want it to.
Yeah, a quick example, something that happens to me all the time, is these tools like to start with a prefix to the answer. So it will say, oh, based on the information that you provided me, and based on the question that you asked, and based on 1, 2, 3, 4, here's the answer. I said, no, just give the answer. And because otherwise you will say that multiple times in the conversation, which is really annoying. So basically telling it not to do any prefix and just provide the answer is something that I found very helpful. So that's just an example, so you understand in your head what Carolina is talking about. But there's a lot of these small little tweaks. Some of them are consistent, meaning once you learn them, like the example I just gave you. By the way, that's the same thing in NA10 automations or make automations, right? It will sometimes give you more information what you actually need in the output, and then it messes up the next steps of the automation. So you need to very clearly define what to include, what not to include, what format to include it in. And these just are part of the rules that Carolina is talking about.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. When you're mentioning this, it reminds me, one of the famous one is, of course, the M dash that everyone is now so afraid of using because it clearly signals AI. So I always try to tell the AI agent not to use an M dash, like the long dash. In its answers, it's mostly not listening to me. I do try to emotionally manipulate the AI agent by saying that if it uses the M dash, that it will get fired. Sometimes it still decides to ignore me on that, but this is also a really famous example of one of the nodes that you want to exclude.
There's an interesting question before we continue, an interesting question in the chat. What if there's no personal or company website? But so that's the question from the chat. So thank you, Neda. But I will broaden that. Let's say I have a website, which is most companies, but I want to add more information to the agent to have access to more stuff. How can I connect it to additional data sources?
Well, that's indeed the next step where we are heading now, because you can do that in yeah, this is actually the perfect question, because that's something that you can do in the knowledge base. And what I actually want to emphasize over here is that these principles are actually the same for all the different AI agent builder, or not all, but most AI agent builder tools. So everything that I'm mentioning here, you will indeed recognize this. You mentioned as well in NA10, in Make. So the principles are the same, and the elements of an AI agent are always the same. The difference here within Flowgenz is that it just makes it, they make it very easy to connect it to different tools like Instagram and WhatsApp, and they have a chat manager, and they have certain features. For example, for Instagram, something like, for example, if someone comments a keyword, then you can automatically send a DM already to them. Or so there's a lot of pre-built features in there that make it very easy. But the elements are very much the same. So knowledge base. Here you will find options to expand your agent's knowledge. So right now in the background, the AI agent team of Flowgenz already added the website as knowledge, so all the content that is on the website. It created an FAQ based on the website, but there's more things that you can add. For example, if you are using Notion, you can connect your Notion, and then automatically it real-time syncs the Notion pages that you want the AI agent to have access to. So this is one of the features that I find very useful, because this way you can make the AI agent's knowledge very dynamic. If you make any changes on the Notion pages, the knowledge of the AI agent will also be automatically updated. So this is something that I like, so connecting Notion, but you can also add, for example, PDF. You can just copy paste text. You can add more Q&A, more websites, a pricing plan. So these are, and they are adding more and more as we go. Then the next step is to choose to pick your channel. So these are the AI agents that are really meant to be able to connect with customers and leads. So over here, you can add it as a chatbot to your website, just like the one that we're seeing over here. But you can also add it to Slack, to WhatsApp, to Instagram. And if you're more technical, you can trigger it with a webhook or access it through the Flowgenz API or have it scheduled. But yeah, the most commonly used are Instagram, WhatsApp, Slack, and chatbots. Then, of course,
and chat means it's going to be like a piece of code I can put on my website. That's what it means?
Yes, yeah, you can copy paste codes and then add it to your website. So yeah, I will show you as well, but it's it's just copy pasting a small piece of code. And one of the main elements of an AI agent is that it can take action. So you mentioned already before as well, an AI agent should be able to make decisions. It can make decisions based on a goal. It should have knowledge. And one of the big things of an AI agent, which really sets it apart from just general chatbots or chat assistants, is that an AI agent can take actions. So it can connect with your software, it can connect with your tools, and it can take actions in those software and those tools. So in Flowgenz, they have a couple of pre-built actions already, such as sending a Slack message. Cal.com, I think they will release that next week, but booking an appointment, Calendly booking an appointment, sending email notifications. But over here, they have a custom tool builder, which I will also show, which is really comparable to Make.com. And you can build multi-step tools. You can connect it with any API. So this is really how you can make your AI agent so advanced. So what are things that you need to be thinking of? For example, I helped a company that wanted the AI agent to process and create invoices and process that invoice information. So I created a tool that's connected to their invoicing software. And then the AI agent could decide when it was necessary to actually create an invoice. And then at those moments, it creates an invoice. Other things that you can think of is, for example, having the AI agent add the leads to your CRM, so to connect it with HubSpot, Pipedrive. Other things that you can think of is adding to-dos, for example, to your project management tool, connected with Asana, connected with Notion, Monday.com, any project management tool, to have the AI agent add to-dos when necessary. And a way that you can have this AI agent actually decide on when to do it is by in the prompt. So like I showed you before, the system prompt, you need to first connect the tools. And then in the prompt, you can tell it, use this tool when you need to create an invoice, or use this tool when you want to book an appointment. So this really, you really tell the AI agent, and this reminds me that this is one of the elements that you should also add in a prompt, is the tools that an AI agent can use and when.
So the process from that perspective, again, just to clarify to people, is you need to know, and it's the same, by the way, in any agent creation platform, whether you're creating this on Flowgenz or any other platform, you need to define and create tools first. And tools are sometimes the tools themselves and sometimes tools that you make up, right? So a tool could be a connection to Slack. Okay, Slack is a tool, but sometimes it could be a tool that you define that is something that the AI can do. So a tool is basically, think about it as something the AI can now do, and you can explain to it when to use this thing in the system prompt. So this is, again, going back to the onboarding, it's the same exact thing. If you're a new sales employee, you got a new lead, go and log it in the CRM. Here's how you do this. So here's how you do this. This is how you build when you build the tool. And then just explaining that that's what needs to happen happens in the system prompt.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So yes, and the last thing that you want to decide, of course, is what kind of AI model do you want your AI agent to use? So right now, if you're on the free version, and I'm showing you the free version right now to show you that you can just try everything for free, you can only choose between 4.0 mini and 4.1. I always recommend in that case to use 4.1. And in general, I like right now, as it's now June 12th, maybe ChatGPT will release GPT-5 soon, but right now I would recommend using GPT 4.1. But if you upgrade to a paid plan, you can also use Claude. They are adding GPT-03 as well. So if you're not familiar with the different models, 4.1 is a model that you can't see in ChatGPT, but it's available for the API, which means that you can include it in automations like these. I personally prefer 4.1 over 4.0, but when you're creating your AI agent, just try the different models, see how different your agent is responding. Once you pick your model and optimize the prompt, after that, and when it's live, don't randomly change the model again later on, because the agent can start behaving differently, even if it's the same prompt when you change the model. So that's something to be aware of.
100%. What it basically means is for different use cases, different models are going to work better. And your only way to know, sadly, is to actually test it out yourself.
Yeah, sometimes for me, I do notice that 4.1 is really it does it all model. But before we had 4.1, you could basically choose between 4.0 or Claude 3.7. And I would always go with Claude 3.7 because if it was a more complex AI agent where it needed to make different choices between different actions. So in my experience, Claude 3.7 was really good for an AI agent to actually make those choices and know when to use the tools. And GPT 4.0 sometimes forgot to use the tool, kind of. But GPT 4.0 was again better for conversational experience. It was a little bit more human, I would say.
Interesting question from the chat from Gwen. So thank you, Gwen, from the question. What about data security and privacy, right? So you're going to give it access to your company website. You're going to upload documents. You're going to give it access as you to your Instagram account or your Slack account. So how do they maintain? Where do the data go? What risks are company taking by integrating stuff like that?
Yes, that's a good question. So I know that they store all information in the EU. The software is GDPR proof. So and with the OpenAI models, that's also good to know that OpenAI, if you are using the API of OpenAI, which is being used here, GPT or OpenAI is at least claiming that they are not training on your data.
Yes.
Just like Google is claiming things, and you can never be 100% sure, but they at least promise that they are not training on your data. Then, yes, so then we have, we end the onboarding sequence here in the playground, and in the background, the Multiply AI assistant is already trained. So if you try this yourself, you will see also an AI agent trained for you. Right now, this agent isn't connected to any tools yet, but you can chat with it already. So for example, what services do you offer? It should also be, I think these are the colors already. Yes, it's this light blue color from the website. And here we see that it's using the terrible M dash, but it's answering correctly, hopefully. So we offer a full range of AI-powered solutions. Maybe we can ask something like,
you know what? I have an interesting question to test it with. Let's try that.
Yes, I love that.
Which podcast episodes were about AI agents? Let's see, because we have all the episodes there transcribed, and let's see if it knows how to go through that data as well. That will be a very tricky question.
Yes.
Because it has hundreds of pages. So what did it say?
Can you tell me? Okay, so it searches knowledge. We have a great episode. So this is the powerful AI agents, and it is, oh, I should have opened it in a new tab. It is also sharing the link over here.
Very cool.
Yes, but we can maybe ask for more. Can you give me 3 episodes of the podcast that were about AI agents? Let's see if it can go even further.
Yeah.
Search knowledge. Absolutely. Here are 3 episodes. Let's see if these are indeed about AI agents. You know this better than I do.
No, this is really, really cool.
Yes. So it also links already. So this is already trained automatically, and this is just your base version. So this is the draft version of your AI agent. So from here on, this helps you to easily at least get started, because that's something you already asked me as well. How do I get started, or how does someone get started with creating a prompt? Well, that's one of the more difficult things to start from completely scratch. So that's why they built this to make it easy to go from 0 to 1. And from here on, you can make any changes. To answer your question about the website embed, you can copy the code, and then you can have platform instructions over here. So let's take a look at how you can change it. So let's first take a look at the system prompt and how they defined it. So over here, they have the role, like I mentioned as well, lead generation assistant, core responsibilities. This is the same as the goal. What you see over here is that there are always hashtags in front of the titles. And if you're not familiar with that, that's something called Markdown format. And Markdown format is a way to tell to computers how something is formatted. And in short, 1 hashtag means heading 1, 2 hashtags heading 2, and this way the AI agent or the AI will be better able to understand the structure of your system prompt. Because if you don't have this, it will be just one big wall of text basically for the AI agent, and it doesn't really know how it's structured and how it's important it should different parts of the prompt are. So it has core responsibilities, the tone of voice. This tone of voice is based on your website. So the AI agent team took a look at your website, and based on that, it's decided on the tone of voice. So if you have a very playful website, then the tone of voice will be different as well. Conversation flow. So it tells us, this is a little bit like the SOP that I mentioned. So what should what way should the conversation flow? And you can make any changes here. So if you don't like it, then if you don't want it to ask for an email address, for example, then you can make those changes. Key guidelines. And here's some FAQ knowledge that it created already, but you can also change that over here in the knowledge base if you go to FAQ.
Yeah, very cool. So basically, like you're saying, going from 0 to 1 is very, very easy, because it basically creates a vanilla agent for the main topics that they have, like customer service or engagement or content creation, with all the instructions already built in, which also saves you the hassle of my question before of what categories do I need to have there? So these are already there, and you can go and just add and change and massage, and now you understand. But the general structure is already built in for you, and not starting with a blank sheet of paper, which I think is fantastic.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it makes it so much more easy, because I must admit, I'm getting so lazy because of this automatically generated prompt. Before this wasn't there, and that you needed to start from scratch and really needed to write everything and test and change. But this is already making life so much easier. If you are even more lazy or want to try more, you can also click over here, and you can start recording and just say what you want the AI agent to do, and you can have it completely unstructured. You can just say anything that you want, and then also say, oh no, actually I don't want that, and then it will also create a prompt just like this. So inside the prompt. So let's continue by adding it now to Instagram. Because of the time, I won't make any changes to the prompt, but if you would really create an Instagram AI agent, I would, for example, ask it to not collect full name and email, because we're already talking on Instagram. Yeah, make those changes, play around, click always on save and test, and then play around with how the agent responds. But let's add it to Instagram as an example. You can click on
for those of you who
configure.
are not watching, there's just a channels section, and you click on that, and Instagram is right there, and you click on configure, and that's, I assume, more or less it.
Yeah, that's it. And then you click on add Instagram connection, then on connect with Instagram. And make sure, this is an important aspect, that the Instagram profile that you want to connect it to is the profile that you are already logged into on your account, on your browser right now. So this is Demo AI Agent. I also gave the cute profile picture. And then you click on allow. And then the connection is now being set up. This may take a few moments because it needs to make a connection with Instagram. So let's wait for a little bit. From the moment on that you are connecting it, be aware that your AI agent will start responding from now on your DM. So that's something to be aware of. In the chat manager of Flowgenz, you can always lock conversations, and lock means that the agent won't respond to that conversation anymore. So that's something that you should be aware of. You can have different settings as well. Such as that if you send messages inside of the Instagram app, that the agent is aware that you, as a human, sent those messages. You can have it send tool updates. So, for example, let's say that you're an e-commerce store, you connect with Shopify, and you want the agent to update, saying, "Hey, I'm right now looking into our systems to see if it's happening, or if something is happening, if I can do something." Then you can have that updated here as well. I usually have this turned off. Load old messages for conversations. So the moment, this is also one of the data question answer to one of the data questions. So if you connect your Instagram, the Flowgenz software won't see all your old conversations, and only if you allow it, then the moment that someone starts talking to you from the moment onwards that you connected it, it can see the last 20 messages already. So then at least the conversation will keep on going. Something that I like to use for influencers is the random response delay, because of course, an AI agent will start responding immediately to you normally, but that's a little bit inhuman. And I also help influencers who want to automate their Instagram DMs, but don't want their followers to know that they are actually automating it. Then you have a random response delay, so it will take any time between, I think, 2 or 1 and 10 minutes to respond. And you can also set working hours. For example, if you want your customer support team to answer during the day, but want the AI agent to answer during outside of office hours, then you can set that over here as well. So these are all functions that make it very useful to actually connect it with Instagram. Now let's see if our AI agent is going to respond on Instagram. And then I need to quickly search for what was the AI agent name? Demo AI agent. If you want, anyone, you can just start chatting with my AI agent, Demo AI agent as well. Let me see, it's over here. We'll follow, and I will start sending it a message. Just to make sure.
Again, for those of you who are not watching and just listening, we just open Instagram with a different account so we can chat with that account. And then we're just going to send it a message, and we'll see how it responds.
Yes.
And we turned off the random delay, so it actually answers. So it actually answers immediately.
I hope so. Let's see. It will take. It will always take a couple of seconds. Why? Yes. Because in Instagram, it's very common that people are sending multiple messages, or sending one big message, but then send it in multiple messages, yes. Right? So this is a built-in delay to make sure that, let's see, welcome to Multiply. To make sure that all those messages are combined, sent to the AI agent, because otherwise it will respond to every message individually, and that gets a really weird conversation. So it's working. Welcome to Multiply. We're excited to help you transform your business with AI. What brings you here today? And now we can also ask, what's happening? Oh, I think that's
okay. I think you have voice type somewhere.
No, what happens right now is the AI that I'm logged into right now, and I need to stop it, or the Instagram channel that I'm
has its own AI
also
channel.
Has an agent.
So the agents are talking to one another. This is the end of the world as we know it.
So
let's pause here. I think this was
yes.
great from a demo perspective. I want to do a quick summary, uh, and kind of explain everything we talked about, and then I'll let you tell people how they can find you and work with you. But to summarize everything we talked about, one is we talked a little bit about what are agents and how they're different. But the most important thing is, if we ignore all the explanation part, the process to create an agent and put it on, in this particular case, either your website with the code that will be copy paste, or on a channel like Instagram or Slack, took maybe 5 minutes, right? Because we gave it a link to the website, and then we waited, and there was a first draft of the agent ready. All we told it is what is the general role, in this particular case, like a customer service one. So it built the system prompt for you. So if you know nothing and you want, okay, I want to start at least experimenting with this, 5 minutes later, you can have an AI chat that knows how to work with different tools. In this particular case, we didn't connect any, but we could have. So let's say I have like a way to book stuff on my website, and I want to connect it to the backend of that, or a CRM, or anything like that. Literally 5 minutes later, you have a good starting point, and it's extremely powerful if you want to get started quickly and without any previous knowledge. And the other thing is it creates a very solid start for the system prompt. So you can, from there, you kind of understand what's going on, and you can just add your stuff, and you don't have to be an expert on creating agents. Carolina, this was fantastic. Like really a very, very well thought after introduction and then the actual demo. If people want to follow you, learn from you, work with you, connect with you, what are the best ways to do that?
Yes, so you can find me on LinkedIn, Carolina Posma. Also on YouTube, I create videos on YouTube, also making easy to follow explanations on how to get started with AI agents. And might even to share that this Monday, I'm launching the AI Agents Made Easy School community. And yes, I'm very excited for that, because the goal of this community is really to welcome anyone who doesn't consider themselves as technical to come join us and learn about AI agents, learn about AI automations, and really go from beginner to winner with AI agents and automation. So everyone is welcome, even if you feel like you have no technical experience at all.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Thanks everybody who joined us live. We had multiple people and a very active audience. Sadly for you, you missed that, but a lot of good questions and conversation on LinkedIn, on Zoom, you were at least able to see. But thank you everybody for joining us live. Just for your knowledge, Carolina, we had people from, let me see, they said in the beginning, but from many places around the world, from Singapore to India to UAE to San Diego, Cape Town. So you had literally people from all around the world in your session. So this was absolutely fantastic. So thank you everybody for joining us, for being active, for asking questions, for chatting with me and with each other in the chat. And thank you so much, Carolina. Again, this was absolutely fantastic.
Thank you so much for having me.